Welcome back to another Zero Context Patreon stock advertising my Patreon content, one out of context theater moment at a time. I finished up the Silkworm before jumping into the first book of the Beautiful series, Beautiful Disaster. Then I wrapped up the month with the start of Zodiac, which is the first of the Zodiac series. Ropes and a burqa, ejaculated Catherine Kent. I see that she has learnt fucking nothing from the Slughorn meme. The detective, on whose dense curly hair the snow was falling thickly, pulled out his mobile. What an unholy and awkward sentence. This is only further proof that editors didn't touch any of this. Meanwhile, Antis fucking hates drag, but the police are scrambling to make it seem like they'd known that it was Liz this entire time. I didn't know how most girls felt around him, but I'd seen how they behaved. I was experiencing more of a disoriented, nauseous feeling than giggly infatuation, and the harder he worked to make me smile, the more unsettled I felt. Here's the thing that gets me about these bad boy, good girl novels. The author is clearly trying to set up this entire I'm not like other girls thing, what with her clearly being turned off by the most desirable boy in school. Yet, literally nothing about him has told me why the readers should be cheering for him to begin with. If you were to slap the Law and Order logo over the cover of this book, I'd 100% believe that Travis was the rapist who would later tell the police she was into it. Why would I grape anybody when girls are throwing themselves at me? This book is vile, and I'm deeply concerned not only for the author, but anybody who enjoyed reading this. I know that I'm barely through chapter 1, but holy guacamole on toast, Batman. Literally none of this has been in any way remotely enjoyable so far. America and I froze when a woman emerged from the bathroom buttoning her blouse. Hi, she said, surprised. Her mascara-smeared eyes examined us before settling on her luggage. I recognized her as the leggy brunette Travis had followed from the cafeteria. America glared at Shepley. He held up his hands. She's with Travis. Travis rounded the corner in a pair of boxer shorts and yawned. He looked at his guest and then patted her backside. My company's here. You'd better go. She smiled and wrapped her arms around him, kissing his neck. I'll leave my number on the counter. Don't worry about it, Travis said in a casual tone. What? She said, leaning back to look in his eyes. The thing that gets me about the eventual Abby Travis is this behavior didn't come out of nowhere, nor should it be a fucking surprise to her. Yet the reviews warn that Travis is going to get insanely toxic and even shittier once the actual romance starts up. Babe, the warning signs were there all along. This is 100% a you problem. Everyone already assumes we're having sex. You're making it worse. Who cares what they think? I do, Travis. I do. I feel like this is going to turn into a Horace the Dead Horse thing, but I am once again asking why she's so hung up over this relationship that started off toxic and is somehow going to get so much worse. I am also asking why she's so hung up over other people's opinions of her. Like, if she was really that concerned over her reputation and what people think of her, why is she hanging around a guy whose reputation is an out-of-control fuckboy? An hour had passed when Travis came out of his room and down the hall. When he rounded the corner, I expected him to ask me to come to bed, but he was dressed and had his bike key in hand. His sunglasses were hiding his eyes, and he popped a cigarette into his mouth before grabbing the knob of the door. You're leaving? I asked, sitting up. Where are you going? Out, he said, yanking the door open and then slamming it closed behind him. I fell back into the recliner and huffed. I had somehow become the villain and had no idea how the hell I'd managed to get there. When the clock above the television read 2 a.m., I finally resigned to go to bed. The mattress was lonely without him, and the idea of calling his cell kept creeping into my mind. Spoiler alert, babe, this is the rest of your life if you choose this jerk. I sort of lost a bet, so I'm here for a month. A month? It's a long story, I shrugged sheepishly. The fact that the bet, which is the entire driving force behind the plot of this book, took place in the span of a half a page, tells me that it's seriously not that long of a story. You're turning me into a fucking psycho pigeon, he growled over his shoulder. I don't think straight when I'm around you. Line taken directly from the Abusive Boyfriend Handbook. You have feelings for Travis, don't you? I shook my head. I don't know how I feel about him. I just don't see it happening, Mayor. He's too much of a bad thing. Neither one of you will come out and say it. That's the problem. You're both so scared of what might happen that you're fighting it tooth and nail. The problem is that Abby does actually know what's going to happen. She's going to end up both emotionally wrung out and left in the wind, but there's the added risk of the physical domestic violence that she might face if she pursues a long-term relationship with Travis. America's acting like it's goddamn rocket science, but the truth is that it's the little baby chemistry set from the dollar store. Hurry, I want you to be surprised, he smiled. Hurry, I asked, lifting the lid. My mouth fell open when a pair of big, dark eyes looked up at me. A puppy, I shrieked, reaching into the box. I lifted the dark, wiry-haired baby into my face, and it covered my mouth in warm, wet kisses. Travis beamed, triumphant. You like him? Him? I love him. You got me a puppy. Who the hell is going to take care of that? What's this for? You couldn't baby trap her into staying, so you've decided to puppy trap her instead? You can keep him here. I'll take care of him for when you're back at Morgan. His mouth pulled up into a half smile. And it's my security that you'll visit when your month is up. Come on, man. He's not even pretending. I had Mick Abernathy for a father. Who's that? I giggled. See, it's not that big of a deal if you don't know who he is. Who is he? A mess. The gambling, the drinking, the bad temper. It's hereditary in my family. She left Kansas to get away from that and ended up in a nut relationship with the mere image of her father. I guess it's true what we say. We figuratively marry our parents. I went from being with you every second of the day to seeing you for 10 minutes if I'm lucky. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's normal to have space in any sort of relationship, friendship, romantic, literally anything. This isn't cute, it's freaking deranged. Girl needs to set some actual boundaries and grow a freaking spine. He saw you as a long-term challenge, Abby. He has you thinking you're different from other girls so he could get you in the sack. He's going to get tired of you. He has the attention span of a toddler. You know that's a bunch of bullshit, right? It's not true. I'm sure that's what everyone is thinking, I grumbled, noting the interest of those walking by. Then I'll prove them wrong. As the week wore on, Travis took his promise very seriously. Wow, a whole week? He's 100% a changed man who'll never backslide into his old ways. Sarcasm. Don't get me wrong, because it would be nice if the rest of the trilogy was about nothing other than this cute couple who go through the struggles of life together. But look me in the eye and tell me that you think that this is where this series is going. No, before you came, Shepley was the only one that treated me like anyone else. You didn't get all awkward or flirt or run your fingers through your hair. You saw me. I refuse to believe that every last girl on campus was that eager to drop their pants for this man. Well, there are probably lots of girls, but none that are in the same social circles. I like to imagine that the band girlies wouldn't be interested. Why would they when they've been exposed to drummers for most of their lives? Travis ain't anything special. It seems like we take one step forward and two steps back, Paige. Every time I think we're on the same page, you put up a wall. I don't get it. Most girls are hounding their boyfriends to get serious, to talk about their feelings, to take the next step. The problem is that while yes, girls do enjoy reassurances and stuff like that, they aren't exactly looking for a ring exactly 1 nanosecond after meeting a guy. Again, none of this behavior is exactly new. Travis has always acted impulsively. He's also shown that he becomes exceptionally violent whenever he's upset, so now I'm worried again for Abby's safety. If I'm going to win $14,000 in one weekend, I have to concentrate. I don't like who I'm going to be while I'm at those tables, and I don't want you to see it, okay? Literally not one single person is forcing her to be there. She should have called the freaking police and reported a creepy older man on campus. Instead, she's enabling a man that she herself admits is a gambling addict and an overall terrible person. Is he her father? Yes, but that fact has never once made Mick step up and stop being a terrible person. If Travis hasn't calmed down, good luck getting any sleep here. He made an Oscar-worthy performance at the hall last night. I'm surprised no one called security. He was kicked out of history today. When you didn't show, he kicked over both of your desks. How the hell is he even still enrolled in the school at this point? He's beaten up one student twice in front of teachers and staff. He's pushed his way into a girls' dorm and then stayed out in the hall all night, and then made a huge scene in the middle of the classroom, again in front of a teacher. Wait, I know why. Because the author doesn't know that literally every single one of those things are bad. I'm different. I don't know what happened to me in Vegas. That wasn't me. I was thinking about everything we could buy with that money, and that's all I was thinking about. I didn't see how much it hurt you for me to want to take you back there, but deep down I think I knew. I deserve for you to leave me. I deserve all the sleep I lost and the pain I felt. I needed all that to realize how much I need you and what I'm willing to do to keep you in my life. Okay, then go to therapy. Go get some actual help from a professional. Stop being an emotionally manipulating piece of garbage. Stop having violent and out of control outbursts and nanosecond things don't go your way. Understand that Abby is a person and not a prize. How could you? She deserved better from you, Travis. It's not so much that I think Abby should have gotten better treatment, but the problem is that every single person, including Abby herself, warned that getting into bed with Travis would be a huge mistake. Abby got a terrible, drunkard, womanizing boyfriend, and America is somehow surprised that he was a terrible, drunken womanizer? Are you serious? He said, his eyebrows shooting up. You're just going to leave in the middle of dinner? Girl, you said that you want out, that you want nothing to do with Travis, but the second he motions for you, you run to his side like an obedient puppy hoping for treats. Get some freaking help. You're sorry? I damn near drank myself to death. I could barely get out of bed. I shattered my phone into a million pieces on New Year's Eve to keep from calling you, and you're sorry? How the hell is your out-of-control post-breakup spiral her fault? Dude, this is why she freaking broke up with you in the first place. America's a little uptight, Travis explained. She's meeting his parents this week. Brazil nodded, his eyebrows shooting up. So there, I said, nodding with him. It's permanent. Permanent? Is meeting the family now considered the equivalent of getting married or something? America's a little uptight, Travis explained. She's meeting his parents this week. Brazil nodded, his eyebrows shooting up. So there, I said, nodding with him. It's permanent. Whoa, Brazil said. The shock didn't leave his face as he picked at his food, and I could see the confusion swirling around him. We were all young, and Brazil couldn't wrap his head around Shepley's commandment. When you have it, Brazil, you'll get it, Travis said, smiling at me. I say this as somebody who is married, but I have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Technically, it's Abby Maddox now, I said, smiling at my new husband. It took the government a week for them to process my name change when I got married, and that was after I had to submit my official government marriage license, which took even longer to arrive. You don't fly to Vegas and come back the next day, not only legally married, but also with a new name. That's not how any of this works. I'm still making calculations when the timer goes off. When I finish, I realize the dean was right. There's no opposition in the stars. The math looks good, he says roughly. See how much better you do when you follow instructions and use the right equipment. Oh, great. The plot revolves around the adults sticking their fingers in their ears and going, la la la, I can't hear you. As a Sagittarian, she doesn't share Cancerian curls and light eyes. Her locks are straight and black, her skin is creamy cinnamon, and her eyes are amber and slanted, and a sultry singing voice to her exotic beauty, and she is pretty much stolen every Cancerian guy's heart at the Academy. Cancer has the widest range of skin colors in the galaxy, something I've always loved about our house. Back home, I had sun-kissed golden tan, but after being on Ilaria so long, I'm now pale and pasty. What we Cancerians all have in common is our curly hair, which spans every shade but is often bleached from so much sun exposure, and the color of our eyes, which reflect the Cancer sea. Every single one of these houses are inbred, and you cannot change my mind. Although it also kind of explains why every single person from each of these houses all have the same couple of personality traits. I love how the absolute nanosecond that I examine the story, it begins to crumble and fall apart. I'm literally in chapter 2, and it's not going well at all. Ro, they just don't understand your methods, that's all. I know you've been taught to trust your elders, but on Sagittarius we're raised to question everything. It's the only way to get to the truth of a thing. You and our instructors are being blinded by prejudice right now. You're so distracted by how you got the right answer that you're missing the point that you are right. As I said in the first chapter, this is going to be a book in which our special snowflake is always correct 100% of the time, and the adults constantly stuff their fingers into their ears going, la la la, I can't hear you. Now answer your question. What caused our moods to collide? I force myself not to flinch at the violence in his voice. Then I say, dark matter. They don't bother with the niceties of hiding their disbelief. This time they say what they're thinking out loud to my face. Dark matter, Dr. Eustace sounds halfway hysterical. Are we done here now? He asked the other two. She's wasted enough of her time, don't you think? Admiral Cyrus seemed inclined to agree. Full offense, but why did you drag her here if you aren't going to listen to anything that she has to say? Aries, military, Taurus, industry, Gemini, imagination, Cancer, nurture, Leo, passion, Virgo, sustenance, Libra, justice, Scorpio, innovation, Sagittarius, curiosity, Capricorn, wisdom, Aquarius, philosophy, Pisces, spirituality. I love how all of them are personality traits and that Aries is like, military, fuck yeah! I'm not even sure if that's better or worse than industry in Taurus. At least you could apply that to personality, as well as Virgo's sustenance to a lesser extent. There are so many words that could have been picked to describe the temper of an Aries and how it can be channeled into something useful. But no, military. I unfolded my wave and made it with her tracker. Weird thought. The author really missed the chance to call the Cancer phones shell phones. I'll show myself out. Trust only what you can touch. Holograms can be counterfeit and encryptions aren't foolproof. I have to go in person to prove my warning is real. You'll go yourself? When I nod, Agatha leans in her chair. She seems to be studying me with new interest. Impossible, barks Cyrus. Our people need you here. We'll send someone else. Who? I ask. Which one of you believes what I'm saying? Are you freaking kidding me right now? This entire chapter has been nothing but them not believing her, but the second that she tries to do something actually useful, they refuse to let her go, claiming that she's too important, but clearly not freaking important enough to actually believe. If you like my content, you can become a member on Patreon. You can join for free and get access to all of my free stuff. For only $1 a month, you can have access to so much, including the contents for all of this month's commentary and more. I'll see you next month, guys.